What if I told you that feeling afraid is the best thing that can happen to you? You know the feeling. Heart pumping, heavy breathing, sweat dripping down your neck. You're nervous. Your joints are aching, your muscles complaining, your mind is racing. But that feeling means you're alive. It means you're standing right at the edge of something important. Growth lives there, in the discomfort, in the fear, in the shaky, uncertain steps you take towards the unknown. On the other side of the racing heart, those trembling hands, that's where the vision of you've been waiting to meet is standing. So yeah, you're nervous. Good. It means you're about to do something that matters. Challenge is something I've chased my entire life. Not because it's easy, or because I felt ready, but because deep down, I know that's where the magic happens. It started with swimming, then rugby, hockey, tennis, music, athletics, even a bit of magic. Every new challenge is a new fear to face and a new chance to grow. And now at nearly 20 years old, I look back and think, wow, I've done that. But growth doesn't have a finish line, it's consistent, which means it's a constant challenge. And that's why I'm doing a half marathon in a few months, not because I'm some gifted runner, but because it's something I've never done before. It's the same with cinematography. It started with me just picking up a camera, some sort of spark, some desire for me to recreate what I saw on TV. And fast forward a couple of years, and it's literally changed my life for the better. The thing I do regret is not challenging myself more, because we all know the truth. The only time we actually grow, the only time we learn, is when we're facing a challenge. It's when you're stepping into something uncomfortable, when you're actually asking yourself, can I actually do this? Think about it, when you're a child, life is nothing but challenges. You learn to talk by trying and failing, literally just making any sort of sound until words come out. You learn to walk by falling over a lot and getting back up every single time. You learn to write by scribbling, making mistakes, erasing, starting over. That's how growth works, but somewhere along the line we fall short. We stop challenging ourselves as we get older. We succumb to the repetitive nature of life and we forget about challenge. Failing seems like this scary thing. Discomfort feels like something we should avoid. We start chasing comfort like it's the ultimate goal. Like if we get there, we'll be fine, we'll be safe. But is comfort really safe, or is it a trap? Whilst you're there being comfortable, life's moving on, opponents are passing you, and you're just there being comfortable. So how do you break out of that? How do you challenge yourself when everything inside you wants to just play it safe? Now, I'm by no means an expert on this, but the one place that I would start is pretty simple actually. Okay, so I want to explain exactly how I make challenging myself easier, and essentially just the steps that you can follow in order to make it easier for yourself. And I'm going to explain it all whilst I get ready to do my half marathon prep, because I've never run anywhere near that distance in my life, so I'm going to need to do some training. So the first thing you want to do when you're planning to do anything challenging is you want to have planned sufficiently. And I don't mean like a broad, vague plan. You want to plan it out exactly how you're going to do it. You need to know exactly how you're going to spend your time working towards that challenging thing. So if you take my half marathon, for example, I know the exact date that I'm going to be doing it on, which obviously isn't very difficult, given that half marathons are like prepared things and you can only do them on one specific day when they're running them. But anyway, so I know the date. Secondly, I know the training regimen. So I know exactly which days I'm going to be training in each week, and I know what distances I'm going to be doing. In that way I can work it up as I get closer to the half marathon. And the third is just to make sure you've got everything you need in order to face that challenge. So you put yourself basically in the best possible position to be able to do it. So for me, for example, I've got all the running gear and I've invested in these shoes. I actually bought these last year and I haven't worn them until now. Yeah, these should work pretty nicely for while I'm running. So finally, I think it's very important to celebrate the wins when you're challenging yourself, because obviously you're going to fail quite a lot. Because it's something new, we all fail when we're doing new things, but I think it's very important to celebrate the small wins. That way you're going to stay motivated, you're going to keep wanting to challenge yourself, you're going to keep improving, you're going to keep learning from the mistakes that you make. I also think consistency is super important, because if you're consistent, you're more likely to be successful, you're going to get better at these things, and you're more likely to find success in the long run. So if you take away anything from this, it's when you're challenging yourself, be consistent, and importantly, celebrate the small wins, because that will give you motivation to keep going. Right, I'm going to go running. You need to start noticing where you're stuck. And I don't mean the obvious stuff like, oh, I'm afraid of public speaking. What I mean is the subtle things, the things that you don't really think about, the stuff that you've sort of moulded into your routine. I mean the habits that keep you busy but not fulfilled, the routines that keep you stuck but you never really question them, the dreams you tucked away because they felt unrealistic. That's your comfort zone. That's what you need to change. And I don't think a lot of people realise that. I mean, I for one have fallen into that trap of having an unproductive routine and not even questioning it, and then months pass and you make no progress. But if you want to change that, you don't need to make some massive leap. You just need to start at the edge, right on the edge of, I don't know if I can do this. And yeah, it's scary. You'll probably fail. In fact, I'm going to get this out of the way now. You are going to fail. But failure isn't some final verdict. It's feedback. It's something to learn from. It's the way we grow and keep moving forwards. That's the importance of failure. The real danger isn't failing, it's never trying in the first place. That's where you stay stuck. That's when people overtake you, when you never even try in the first place. It's waking up one day realising you've been living the same year over and over and calling that a life. At the end of the day, life isn't about avoiding fear, it's about walking straight into it. Because on the other side of fear, that's where your future's waiting. And the next time you feel hesitation, that little voice telling you, what if I fail? What if I can't do this? Remember, that's the sign. That's the moment. Take the challenge. Your fear isn't a barrier, it's a path leading you to your future. And I think we all need to follow it a little bit more.